Welcome back to Off Guard. I'm your host, Austin Rivers, along with my co-host, Pausha Hagi. We are back. January 15th, my guy. What is good? How are we doing? How are we feeling?
It's a beautiful day here in Orlando. I wanted to say, caught you on in the studio for NBC and Peacock. You look like you were having a good time.
I had a blast.
It looked like you were having a good time. Not saying that you didn't have a good time when you're on the bench for, doing the sideline reporting and everything like that, but this looked like you were just in your element, kind of shooting the shit a little bit.
Yeah, felt like I was with like two of my uncles.
Uncles?
Yeah. Well, I mean, they're much older than me.
No, of course.
I've known T-Mac since I was like 9.
Yeah,
so it's
yeah.
like me working with him at the desk. I know sometimes he's got to look over and be like, man, this is crazy.
It's pretty surreal for both of you.
Probably remembers me just like running around the locker room,
yeah.
When he was with the Magic. So crazy experience. Really just, fulfilling, getting to work with them. I tell people all the time, like, working with NBC has been obviously a dream come true. And then to be able to work with guys like T-Mac, Tracy McGrady, Carmelo Anthony, these are guys that, like, I had their jerseys hung up on my wall, especially T-Mac and Vince. They're even older than, like, Melo. I played against Melo quite a bit. So that's a little different. But, like, T-Mac, I didn't go against T-Mac. I went against Vince, but he was just because he played 20 years.
Yeah, everyone went against Vince. Yeah. Like 28, 30%
but not
of the NBA played against Vince.
Not prime Vince.
Yeah.
I even flew back yesterday with Vince. So just getting to call these guys friends is really cool, and just getting to learn from them, hear their stories. Just you're there for so long. It's an 8-hour shift. We did 2 games. And then you got to get there a couple hours early, and you have to stay late. So we're there for like 7-8 hours. So in between breaks, they blast music in there, and they're playing all like types of music, and we're eating, and just everybody's having fun and hanging out and just telling stories and arguing about certain stuff. It was a lot of fun. So shout out to T-Mac, shout out to Vince Carter, man.
How's their rapport? I know they're cousins. They found that out after they got drafted.
Oh yeah, they're like, you could tell they're always they're either arguing or something. It's hilarious. They're coming out, I guess, for the podcast soon, called Cousins or something like that. It's just, I'm sure.
See, that's what we need is more competition in these streets. Come on.
I heard it. I was like, you sure? I was like, the space is really
it's oversaturated. It's too much.
I don't think you. I was like, all right, you can try it.
Yeah.
But no, that'll be dope. So it was really cool working with them, and yeah, man, it's a nice little change up, little studio versus game. For
sure. I feel like obviously both those guys play for the Magic, but T-Mac more in his prime. I don't think people that don't live in Orlando understand how much he meant. Like, this was when Kobe was like, winning those titles with Shaq. And I swear, I feel like, and I don't know, this is revisionist history. I'm trying to think back then. People were really vibing with more like the T-Mac Vince maybe at the time than like people with, Kobe was like Shaq's sidekick. I mean, these guys were like, they were huge in front of the culture. Them, Allen Iverson, obviously.
Well, yeah. Vince at one point was regarded as probably the most exciting player in basketball. He had a run where when he came to town, people sold out arena.
Yeah.
And it was just to see him get one breakaway. You just wanted one dunk from him, just his power. The shocking thing about Vince is, like, I stand next to him, I'm like, bro, you're like 6'6". Because I'm like 6'4", 6'5". He's like an inch taller than me. And I'm like, the dunks, the way he would dunk is as if he was 6'10". I mean, like, how easy he's just a freak of nature. I mean, T-Mac's just so tall. He's just a big dude, man. He like walks in the studio like, good God. He's like a 6'9", 6'10". He's like, they list him at 6'8". He's like really 6'9", 6'10". Yeah. He's huge. But yeah, those two, Tracy McGrady was obviously Kobe Bryant's biggest competition. Kobe said that multiple times. He's like, who's the hardest guy you had to go against? He's like, T-Mac, which tells you how good T-Mac was. That's high praise from Kobe Bryant. May he rest in peace. And Vince Carter, again, changed Toronto basketball, country that wasn't really, familiar with the game. Obviously it's a hockey, and pretty much anything centered around ice is mainly up there in Canada. And basketball really kind of exploded when Vince came on the scene. Like, Vince has changed a lot. So you talk about two guys who have been huge for basketball, whether it's Orlando, Canada, regardless of where you live, those two have been iconic. So just to be working with them, talking to them, calling them friends, learning from them, just in terms of just stories and stuff like that, really dope.
I wonder if you ever asked one of them. I'm sure they've been asked before, because they were teammates, and then T-Mac came to Orlando as a free agent and obviously became a way bigger, like, 1A option, like, led the NBA in scoring at one point. I wonder if that's one of those. That's not a what. People talk about OKC's what ifs or different people's what ifs. That's a what if right there that people don't really talk about, I feel like, as much. What if they stayed together those two being so good. And then we didn't know really what T-Mac was until he went to the Magic. Maybe the Raptors knew, like in practice, maybe he was doing these things. But could you imagine that duo in their primes if they stayed together? But like, here's the thing though, who would have been the Pippen, who would have been the Jordan? Because they both were like,
at that time, and I think they needed to separate for T-Mac to really reach his full potential. I think that was understood, which is why T-Mac left. Because even before T-Mac reached anywhere near his peak, they were competing against teams. I mean, they went to the playoffs and played against the Knicks.
Right.
They got swept, but, you know.
By the way, that's an unbelievable memory. That is true. That's good.
Yeah, but they were a really good team. I remember watching. I was a huge fan of T-Mac even before he came to the Orlando. I just loved his game. I loved the way he dunked. I loved his length on the court, how he moved. I was just the biggest T-Mac fan. And then obviously Vince was Vince Carter. Vince's athleticism and brilliance overshadows his skill as a basketball player. People don't really understand, like, Vince is like one of the league leaders in scorer, and he was a guy who caught the ball in the post and was shooting fadeaways and doing the whole thing, you know. So they were good together, and that was before T-Mac even was T-Mac. That was Tracy McGrady. He wasn't even T-Mac yet. T-Mac is in Orlando. In Toronto, it's just Tracy McGrady, and he was a young player. Everybody knew he was cousins of Vince, but Vince was the guy, and I think Tracy's. You could see it as a surgeon's coming, and he's like, I got to get out of here. And he went back here, and then he got to come back to Orlando, his home. It was, you know, everything worked out. So, but yeah, that is a what if that people don't really talk about.
Yeah, and there was that one series where it was the Raptors, Sixers, right? And Vince and Allen Iverson were like going back and forth.
Yeah, Vince was wearing high socks.
Before Game 7, Vince, I guess, went. They got his
graduation.
Diploma, and there was a lot of drama, and everyone brought that up. I think these days, would they even, I don't know if that would be that much drama. I think people would have been like, oh, he flew, he came back, he played, or they still make it a big deal.
I don't think so. You got a PJ, you went there, you got a PJ, came back.
I feel like at the time it was like a big deal. I don't know. It was like maybe there was not enough news going around that they had to.
Because he like missed a practice or something like that to do it. And everybody's like, whoa, you know. I mean, yeah, it's just different. I mean, think about the big deal they made of Allen Iverson's practice habits. People don't even practice anymore.
Right.
Like he's like, you know, that has aged very well.
Yeah.
Most stars don't practice, especially during the season. So like to kill Allen Iverson for not practicing, he's like the MVP of the team is insane.
Yeah, you know, you could obviously tell us from experience, like the training camp and doing 2-a-days and things like that leading up to the season. That's just the insane, you know, workload compared to like a practice. Like,
and back then they practiced.
Yeah.
So like they would like in the middle of the season have an hour practice. Like that would never happen in today's day. It just doesn't happen. Guys don't practice unless it's like after All-Star break just to get guys back in shape and training camp. That's it. Otherwise it's all prep work. That's, you know, again, the evolution of the game. Everything's been, you know, concise. Everything's been, you know, but yeah, it's crazy to think.
Yeah, the big game you guys covered was OKC Spurs. And
that was the big one.
You had a feeling the Thunder were going to get their revenge, right? And
the
game started off, and Wemby's going at Chet left and right. Like it's a rivalry, but it's not. I don't know. They absolutely, there's something there. It's
first
obvious.
2 plays, you're like, I mean, he's just punking Chet. I mean, he has Chet's number, and I like Chet as a player, but Wemby he goes at him. It's evident. It's clear. He looks at Chet and he likes going at him. Yeah. He's blocking his shot, going at. I mean, luckily for Chet, he's got a pretty good team. So and they wanted their look back. They came in there. You could see the way they were playing, especially that third quarter. They took off, and it was a good, I think, learning lesson for everybody, including the Spurs. Like, okay, they're good, but let's put some respect in the champ's name for sure.
So last pod, you obviously covered, you know, fans and, you know, they need to be careful. You fans do have a voice and players hear it.
That went well.
Yeah. I have a question for you. I was thinking about this after you said that. How do you compare being a fan now? Because you see all these viral videos of fans like going at like Luka and then he hits a shot and Luka curses back at him.
Yeah.
And people are taping themselves like talking trash to them. And sometimes the player laughs. Sometimes they, you know, like Russell Westbrook obviously doesn't like it. How do you compare being a fan now to being a fan like, was it like this like 30 years ago and we just didn't know because there weren't cell phones? Or do you think it was cooler? It was cooler to be a fan back then. You had shows like, I always bring up like NBA Inside Stuff and all these things where it was like cooler to.
Oh, for
like,
sure.
I'm a fan now. And like now it's almost cooler to kind of like say something clever and mean and go at the player trying to get a reaction, right?
Correct. There's always been like, you know, back and forth between player and fan. That's gone back probably from the test of time. Like there's always been somebody harassing a player here and there, but to the level it's at now, no, it's never been like this. And social media has incited all that just for the fact of guys recording. I don't think there's anything more lame than someone talking to someone with their camera to try to get a reaction for their own views. The irony in it, because they're doing it with the guy who's famous enough to help them their views, but they're talking trash to them with their camera. The whole thing is just ick to me. I get really like, when I see like a guy do it, it's just like, oh my God, bro. Yeah. It's a big turn off for me. Then I won't engage. If you didn't have the phone, then I'd actually genuinely probably go back and forth with you if I felt like it. But when you have the phone out, it's like, bro, I'm not about to do this with you. So that, I think, has incited and like amplified everything in social media. People just have an endo to want to like have 2 seconds of fame or try to create a moment that goes viral. Everybody's so concerned about followers and viral and this and this. So it's definitely changed.
Yeah.
Now I don't think it's out of control. There's still like an etiquette, and if it gets too out of hand, security in the NBA has done a good job of like they'll remove you. So it's all good. It's nothing too crazy.
Right, and I also feel like the way coaches now have shorter leashes, and they get fired quicker. Now players are more. If the team goes on like a 3-game losing streak, they're like, gotta fire the coach. Like, I just feel like back then maybe they had a little more patience for coaches, and now I feel like it's so much more. Like now the fans are just, if something goes wrong, they're like instantly like, we could swap this coach out for this guy that's available, and this guy's in the studio, and I'm like. And in the comment section, everything, I just feel like, I don't know if it was like this negative. I don't know if it was this negative in the 90s. It just felt like such a more pure fandom.
So social media has given a voice to everyone.
Yeah.
So when everyone has a voice, it's going to be a problem because most people don't know what they're talking about, quite frankly. So, it's part of the process. I enjoy the banter. I go out back at people all the time on Instagram and try to put them in their place. So... I was fighting for my life the other day in the NBC comments. The NBC posted the announcement of the coaches for the All-Star game, and it's Vince Carter, Trace McGrady, Carmelo Anthony, and then it's me. And everybody in the comments were like, the first comment, someone was like, they had a meme, and I was like, and then the next one was like, the next one after was like, someone here is different than the other three. And then people in the comments were like, I like all four. One of them's a little different than the other three guys here.
You commented back.
And those are the nice ones. There were ones like, it was brutal. It was probably 400 people.
Yeah.
I probably of the 400 comments, 300 of them were about me. And I was like, guys, you guys. I go to the comments. I go, you guys trying to Kenny Smith me? All right. I go, but that's fine because like Kenny's here now. He's still here. And now no one even questions it. It's so funny, though, because there's like a thing, especially because we're with star, like, these Carmelo, Vince, Tracy. It's like, good God.
Right.
People are like, well, why is Austin there? It's like, you don't. I know the game. I've been around it since I was born. I played in the NBA over a decade. I was
spoken. There's a bunch of things that go into it. It's not a basketball test. It's not like I could go right now and get. I'm sure, and we're not going to name names, we can go grab a player that's averaged 25 points a game in a season back in the day. I promise you don't want them covering that game. You know what I mean? It's just like, I think people need to realize you're really good at, and then they obviously do, that you're really good at your job, and that's why. You know what I mean? I'm sure Kendrick Perkins gets it the most. He's on ESPN every single day, and he obviously, I don't think he had a better career than a lot of guys that he probably is getting that job over.
Yeah, it's like, bro, being great at basketball is one thing, but also knowing the game is a different thing. Now, obviously, I have to have some level of a resume, and my resume actually is very long. I tell people all the time, I'm not a Hall of Fame NBA basketball player. I do believe I'm a Hall of Fame basketball player. There's a difference. I think I wasn't a Hall of Fame NBA player. I think if you take my basketball careers in totality, I'm a Hall of Famer. That's how I feel. Now, when I say Hall of Famer, I don't mean like going to Springfield and shit like that. I'm just talking about from a street culture sense, bro. Whether it's I was at the peak of Hoop Mixtape and Ball's Life. That was my era. I was like one of the captains of that shit. Right. All right. Then I go to Duke. I am one of the one and dones. I did hit one of the biggest shots at Duke. Stamped. Okay. Then I was a top 10 pick. I'm the only guy to ever play for my pops. I played over a decade in the league. Right after that, I go right into media and I have all this stuff. Like, bro, you can't deny nothing. My resume is boom, 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 boom. I can list that shit out. So when people in the comments like, why are you here? I'm like, brother, why don't you do your research first before you talk about me?
Wait, playing aside, though, it's not that you covering the game and you're, like we said, you're well-spoken, all these other things. That's why you have someone on TV doing these things, right?
Yeah,
Like
there's a delusion, though, amongst fans that, like, think like that. They did the same thing. That's why I said the Kenny Smith thing. It's funny, but it's true. People are like, Kenny Smith's up there? That's what they would do. And then over time, it just became a normality. Or people don't even, like, question it. Like, oh, that's Kenny Smith.
Yeah.
So you have to be willing to deal with it. You have to be willing to take the punches. I genuinely, though, like going back and forth with people. I like being mean I like being mean to uneducated basketball fans. I get a joy out of it. Yeah. Like, this guy has the nerve to talk about why. I made one comment to a guy. He's like, oh, you know, a guy was like, respectfully, man, like, I got nothing against you, man. He goes, you had your little career. He literally said, you had your little career, but you're not like the other three. I go, just know I'm way closer to them than you are to me.
So yeah, Brian Scalabrine, famous. I'm closer to Michael Jordan than you guys are to me.
Yeah, it's just like, you know, it's nonsense. But again, it's fun. It's all good. And NBC has me there for a reason too. So.
I would like to I was going to do it at the end of the show, but congratulate you on getting that coach. That's really cool.
Yeah,
that's on the Friday night, right?
Friday night in LA. We'll be coaching the Rising Stars Challenge.
Okay, so which team do you know?
I got the G League team, so I don't get the draft.
Yeah.
They gave me the Snickle Fritz. But
these guys are hungry though. These guys are the guys that.
That's what I said.
Yeah.
I said I got the team I wanted.
Yeah.
Give me the underdogs. By the way, it's fitting. Let Vince and Melo and Tracy do the draft on TV. They're the superstars. I go, give Austin Rivers the G League guy.
That should be your speech to the players. You should be like, listen.
They
got those Hall of Fame guys over there coaching those NBA players. He's like, we're all in this together.
Yeah, we're all in this together. Yeah, we're in the trenches.
Shock the world.
100%. By the way, and I said this to them in their faces. I'm a better coach than all three of y'all. I think I could coach basketball better than all three of them.
Is it because you grew up maybe in the household?
Brother, I'm not going to say anything. I know I can.
Okay.
So there's nothing else. I'm going to prove it, though. I'm going to have my play set. Again, it's an all-star game, so there's a certain etiquette to the game. We're not running sets. All I need is an inbounds. I'm not even going to give my little things out. I got a couple things.
Yeah, what are you doing? Give out.
You got a couple things I'm going to put in there. I got to play. I told T-Mac, because T-Mac was like, T-Mac said something. He was like, he had said something slick on TV. I said, yeah, Mac, say one more thing about me and the G League guys. I'm gonna go zone the whole game versus you and just the whole game for everybody. I was like, keep messing around with me and I will sabotage your whole All-Star game by going like a 3-2.
You might get a call from Adam Silver like, you better not go zone.
Get out the zone right now. We'll go 2-3 zone. Just make y'all fire the 3 around. See what's the name? Castle. See, Castle's gonna hoist 23. I'm excited though, and it is an honor. Shout out to Frank. Shout out to Sam Flood, guys who really helped me get this type of gig. So I am super pumped, and we're going to make our way. I got the hungry cats, got something to prove. They're not going to All-Star game to party and be cool and be seen. Like,
this is their chance to get out there on TV.
G League guys, like, yo, I get to compete against the actual guys who are getting minutes on Friday night.
With a lot of viewers.
NBC, with everybody watching. Yeah, I'm competing. It's like last year, they did this, and that's why they're running it back. G League guys came in competing.
Right.
And then it forces...
It's kind of what the NBA is doing now, but they got the foreign team.
It forces them to be like, well, we have to play hard. We don't want to lose. So now you get guys actually half competing. Now it's not balls to the wall, but it incentivizes the guys to go out there and obviously have a certain like etiquette and respect for their name to like play hard. So I'm excited. I got the team I wanted. Looking forward. I got to get there early. We got to practice the first day. We got some stuff. So really, really excited to get out there.
You know, it's funny too because those other players have, you know how All-Star Weekend is. They all have so many appearances and different things they have to do. Their agent lines up all these things. Those G League guys are there for the game, hungry, the shoes tied, ankles taped, ready to go.
Oh yeah, no, this is gonna be. They're gonna be ready to go.
Yeah,
no, we got a good group.
You mentioned the fans. There was an interesting moment with Giannis where they're down 30 at home.
Man.
They're getting booed.
I don't like to see it.
Obviously, for your personal perspective, you don't like to see it too. But how did you feel about him booing back and his thing is like, well, I'm booing you. You're not with me, then I'm going against you. You know, did you like his take on it? And is that kind of something that maybe will ignite it instead of just being quiet on the bench, maybe a towel over your head? He's like booing back. Like maybe that's something that could like turn the tide a little bit.
It's tough, man. Obviously, I'm close to the situation with my father being the head coach over there. It's so funny. People in the comments like, the answer is we got to fire Doc. How many coaches y'all got to go through to realize it's not the coach? Okay, right. Philly got rid of my dad. They haven't won since either. Okay, Milwaukee's roster is not going to get it done. It doesn't matter if you have Phil Jackson in his prime.
When Giannis missed some time, that's what really put them
it's
over
like, bro,
the
what do we? There's nothing there. So it's just like that's frustrating to see. And then on the outside of even that, it's you do look at their roster and it's like I don't know how they compete at a serious level. So, bro, watching them lose by 30. Versus a good team, the Timberwolves. It just shows you that the discrepancy between what really good in the NBA is and like kind of where Milwaukee's at still. So there was optimism, kind of. Remember the first couple of weeks, we're like, oh, they got a lot of shooting.
Ryan Rollins was a great story.
Ryan Rollins, I was like, okay, and then it's just kind of like obviously Giannis goes down, and they weren't able to. It's just gotten from bad to worse. So we're at a point now where. I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know what they obviously got to make some moves here. I don't know what there's any moves to make.
How many moves, and they're going to be desperate moves, obviously, to appease Giannis and keep him there and keep him happy. But you don't want to give up everything for maybe a player that might not, lift the team up a little bit, right? Like that's kind of the situation they're in. Like, do you look at maybe Giannis is leaving, or do you look at trying to pair him with another star like they did Dame? But then you have to give up all these assets and mortgage your future, right? It's kind of like what the situation LeBron's always in. Do you give up the young talent to keep him happy right now?
Yeah, it's one of those things where they're still like so many pieces away. So I just don't understand how they move forward in a way where like people are going to be like excited, Again, I don't know what assets they have to move. I'd have to dive into their roster and look at their contracts.
Like Bobby Portis and Ryan Rollins. There's like those are two guys that teams would want, right? Like,
yeah. So it just depends on what they could get back. And again, like Ryan's young, so like, do you move him and what
he's
direction?
On a great contract too.
Yeah, like what direction are they going in? You know what I mean? So it's tough, man. He's in a tough situation. Even Giannis is such a polarizing player that teams would want, but you'd have to throw a whole team at him. So it's very it's very specific. Those aren't easy trades to make. I don't know where they're going right now because they're like stuck in this mud. It's just right now, Giannis is it's not a one-man team. They got good players on the team, but it just hasn't translated, and it's tough, man.
You know what's crazy though? On the flip side, if they're a playing team and you get the 1 seed in the East and you're the Pistons, and then your reward for being the 1 seed is you have to play the best player in the Eastern Conference, Giannis.
Yeah,
that's still very scary. Like, yes, things aren't looking good, but
if they could get in,
yeah, you have the best player in the conference.
Where are they at right now?
Oh man, they're in the playing picture for sure. But could you imagine, like in the West, getting the 1 seed, but having to play the best player in the conference in the first round? Like that's still a thing.
Yeah, I could see that. They obviously Giannis is back now. They start picking it up after All-Star break, maybe make a run. They're in the play-in. They would be a tough number 1 seed. Having Giannis playing against first round would be like Jesus. So that's pretty much best case scenario right now for what I see for this team.
Right.
In terms of them actually competing for like a championship, it's just not realistic. Yeah. I haven't seen it.
Yeah. From one superstar that might get moved to another. There's a video of John Morant. The team's in Berlin, and then they go to London this week to play the Magic. Obviously, with all that turmoil, it looks like he might want out. They're open to trading him. Things aren't going well. There was that video with him and Vince Williams. It looks like a shoot-around or a practice where they get into it. As a player, did that video to you look any different than an altercation two teammates might have at a shoot-around, or was there a lot more to that you found interesting?
I don't like the situation. It's toxic. It's bad. You know this. We talked about it before. He's all the way in Berlin with a team that is trying to trade him and a team that he clearly doesn't with. So it didn't look great, okay? There's arguments and practices all the time between teammates. It's not like that, though. It's not like I don't with y'all or something like that along those lines. Now, again, we can't confirm 100% he said those things, but that's what people are saying he said.
The Twitter lip readers, if you will.
So it's not healthy right now over there in terms of just the relationship. We know this. He's obviously trying to get out of there. It's extremely toxic. And he's got to be careful, though, because it doesn't help him at all. It doesn't make him more desirable for a team like, I don't know if I want this with us. I mean, I hear people like, oh, Miami's got nothing to lose. Well, that's what it takes to get Ja, like for teams that have nothing to lose.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like he's got to help himself. Like, that's not what you want to see. And by the way, there's an etiquette and an inconvenience to being a professional. That's in all aspects of life. Just anybody. Everybody has to sometimes go to work with people they don't like working with.
Absolutely.
It happens no matter what job you have. You could be a teacher, a firefighter, a doctor. It doesn't matter. There's going to be people sometimes that you work with that like you generally don't get along with. It doesn't give you the right to start acting like an asshole or start being like counterproductive or being a distraction. When I played for the Wizards, I got traded. Trade got vetoed because they got the wrong Dylan Brooks and the other Brooks wrong. Right. I had to go back on the plane with the team that just traded me and fly back with the team. And I was like, this team just traded me, and I had to fly back with them. It wasn't fun. It wasn't convenient. It was very weird. But sometimes you just got to be uncomfortable. It's part of the job.
Right.
I wasn't on the plane like, oh, y'all. And that doesn't make me look good. It doesn't help me at all. So it's like, Ja's got to get to the point where I know you're like an all-star. You're on a max contract. Don't let that distract you from like doing the right things, because eventually that contract's going to come to an end. You're going to have to get a new one. And beyond that, you just want to be represented away. So he's too good of a kid too. Like I know Ja. Like Ja's a good guy. He's caught up so much in his emotions right now. It's not easy. I get it. It's frustrating. He also has been ridiculed a lot over the past few years. People have been very hard on Ja.
And when you're ridiculed, whether it's warranted or not, over the course of a few years, you eventually develop kind of a chip on your shoulder, right? Where you're just kind of like, forget everyone else, right? Like we've talked about that before too.
Yeah. So it's like right now he's just caught into that.
Yeah.
And he needs to figure out a way to get past that and just be there and be professional as long as possible until they're going to trade him. So just like hold it down. It's not easy that you got to fly to Berlin.
That's what I was comparing it to you earlier. I was like, okay, imagine a relationship that's headed towards like a divorce or a breakup, but you guys have this trip to a wedding plan that you have to go, and then like it looks like he might want out. We don't know if that's for sure or not. They're openly said they're going to trade him or they're looking to trade him. Now you guys got to go on this trip together. It's probably uncomfortable. And obviously Adam Silver wants John Morant to play for these Europe games, right? You want to give the European fans a show. So that's why it's just like a really tough situation.
What do you want? Listen, the situation ain't good. I mean, listen, he don't want to be there. He doesn't want to be there. He's fighting with his teammates at Shootaround.
Yeah.
They don't want him there. You don't think they just want to play free and just go play basketball and not have to deal with this Ja saga? So hopefully he gets somewhere. I would love Ja in a different situation. He's such an exciting player, an exciting talent. I would like to get back to appreciating Ja.
You're on the side of if he goes to another team, fresh start, you're getting the whole job back.
Of course.
Yeah.
It's one of those situations where, again, I don't know where it goes, but I think for Memphis to move on and actually be able to play at like a high level or get back to even rebuilding whatever they're doing, they got to move off Ja. And I think the time for them trying to get the most for Ja, we have to start like drawing that line between getting the most for him and like, yo, we just need to move on. I'm not saying just give him up for anything, but like it gets to the point where like even like you saw the Hawks, they got CJ McCollum, they got Kispert, like let's get this over with, man. You know what I mean? Like this is we're like hanging on, and the more we hang on, the more desperate we look, and probably will end up getting less and less for him. Right. The whole world knows they're trying to get off Ja now. They're seeing the arguments in practice. They're seeing everything. So the value for him, when the whole world knows you're off him, it's like the whole world knowing your house is on the market because you have like roaches everywhere. People are going to be like, I don't know how much I want. The more desperate you seem, the value of the house is going to go down. So it's like people know they're trying to get off him. They see all the hostile acts in practice and the interviews and this and all the back and forth. This thing has been a saga now. It's over.
The best way to get off of him, though, is probably, instead of getting a star back and still trying to compete, is probably doing a rebuild, which would mean moving Jaren Jackson. And that's where I wanted to bring up Rich Paul on a podcast with Max Kellerman. And it's tough because he's an agent, but he also is a podcaster, so he has to be up front and, and talk loosely. He recommended sort of that, Jaren Jackson for Austin Reaves would work for both teams. Then it sounds like Austin Reaves' agent confronted him, talking about my player on a podcast getting moved, like that was wrong. Do you agree with that? But do you also agree with, when you're on a podcast, you're just kind of talking loosely? And do you think Jaren Jackson would be a good fit on the Lakers?
Yeah, he'd be great for the Lakers. Jaren Jackson? Yeah. Holy shit, what an upgrade. That'd be huge. That'd be huge for them.
Yeah, but at the expense of getting rid of Austin Reaves.
Yes, but you already have so many chefs in the kitchen, and Luke is already a guy that likes the ball in his hands so much. So I love Reaves, but like they need other positions more. It's like them having another guard that could score is not more important, in my opinion, than them having like a presence down low, somebody who can make some shots, somebody who can make some plays, just as a big man. They need it. LeBron is at the point where he's at in his career, still having a really good year.
That was cool. We're gonna bring that up too.
But Yeah, they need that.
Yeah, and do you feel like, it's been interesting. Jaren Jackson came out as an 18-year-old, and he was really good out the gates, and he ended up winning Defensive Player of the Year, had a weird Team USA tenure, right? And it's hard to kind of gauge a guy like that, but he's still like in the prime of his career. I feel like he could be really good in the right situation too.
Yeah, I think the situation he's in has grown stale. Like, you hit it on the head. He came out like this, and then he won Defensive Player of the Year, and then he went to the Olympics, and it was a weird, or not, I'm sorry, the FIBA. Oh, no, it was Olympic. No.
Yeah. Whoa.
FIBA. It's FIBA.
It was a World Basketball Cup, yeah.
Yeah, he had FIBA, and he didn't really play well. He didn't rebound well. People were killing him, and then he's been like just up and down in Memphis now. You kind of don't even hear about him. A lot of that's due to the fact that their team hasn't been really competitive. You put him in the right situation. Listen, you go for the Lakers and ball, you can kiss all that. He'll be a big star.
Right.
There's no other bigger stage than playing for the Lakers or the Knicks. So, I think the situation he's in right now has grown stale. No one's looking at Memphis as a whole. They don't even talk about Ja anymore unless it's drama.
Yeah.
So it's like both of them. I think the Timberwolves the Memphis Grizzlies have to rebuild. And I think if you're going to move off Ja, like you said, let's get him for some picks or let's get whatever we can for him. And then Jaren's got to be right after that. Let's just totally rebuild.
The Jaren Jackson being like the third guy, like to a Tatum and Brown or to like a LeBron and Luka, really intrigues me because it kind of reminds me of like Chris Bosh on those big three teams or Kevin Love, where he's able to kind of get out of the paint, get in the paint. He's really versatile. And I think for a big three, which I thought we were getting away from big threes anyways, I feel like he's the prototypical big man because he's not just like, hey, I'm under the basket, one-dimensional. He can kind of play anywhere and not need the ball in his hands and play with a guy like Luka. So pairing him with Luka could be a really good move because it doesn't seem like obviously DeAndre Ayton. I don't know if that's the sidekick for Luka. I thought it was going to be Derek Lively, but obviously that didn't happen. I think Jaren Jackson will be really good other places too. How do you feel about the Rich Paul combo though too? Because obviously that's just
he's got to
podcaster.
He's got to stop. He's got to stop that. If you're gonna, first off, why do you have a podcast anyway? I don't understand it. I don't get it. I got nothing against Rich. I don't understand why you have a podcast, bro.
Well, his argument would be that players have podcasts.
You're not
playing
a player.
Yeah.
I don't know any other agents who are sitting there on the mic talking. Plus, everything you say is going to be a representation of LeBron, even if you don't feel the way. Now you got LeBron having to come out and be like, hey, Rich Paul has his own opinion. I don't know. I don't affiliate with that. Just because he's saying they want to get off Reaves, that doesn't mean I want to get off Reaves. That shouldn't even have to be a conversation. It's weird. Bro, why do you have a podcast, Rich? You are an agent, meaning you're supposed to be in the background running all the other stuff. You coming out at the forefront and giving your opinions on the game and like saying this stuff, it doesn't work. Are there any other sports agents that have big podcasts right now?
No.
In the NBA? Zero.
Yeah.
I just don't understand it.
Yeah.
I don't get it. And you know why people know you, Rich. Listen, I got nothing but respect for Rich. You've worked your ass off and done a good job building your own network, your own business. You've done great. You and Maverick have done a fantastic job. It's one of the stories of all time when we talk about an athlete putting on his friends and his friends doing a great job to give it back to the guy that helped them, build a brand around them. They've done a great job. Rich Paul's a legend for that. That's your lane. And you've done that and you've earned that. He's obviously, I think he's engaged or dating Adele, one of the two. Everything's flowing for you, bro. You got everything. You're cool. You shouldn't have a podcast about basketball. Shouldn't happen. It's a conflict of interest for one. Just because your main client, the client that built this with you, plays for the Lakers. So you talking about Lakers roster and who they need to trade as an agent is wild.
Yeah.
It's wild.
That's why I don't mind obviously having a podcast. I just think that particular topic.
So now you have
that
a podcast.
particular topic is the issue.
So now he has a podcast, but he can't talk about the Lakers. There's like certain topics he can't talk about.
They'll talk about trading
and then
players.
He can't talk about
trading
any
players.
And then if it's any of his clients, any of the players, it's a biased opinion anyway.
Yeah.
So it's already a flawed podcast. That's why agents don't have a podcast. It's flawed. See, I don't represent 70 NBA players, dog.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I get to be unbiased. I get to be unfiltered. I don't play in the NBA anymore. I don't have ties to anybody. Bro, there's multiple reasons why this thing is wrong.
I was going to ask you this, and we haven't talked about him in a few pods. Obviously, he's always a topic of discussion. You turn on any TV show, podcast, whatever. LeBron James kind of having an underrated season.
Yeah,
he won't be an all-star
if
for
he
the first
played more
time.
Games.
For the first time in like forever, maybe ever. He's not going to be an all-star. He's not going to get voted by the coaches and all that stuff. He hasn't played enough games, right? I don't think unless the NBA puts him in like they did.
It is in LA, so I don't know what could happen there. It seems like things always kind of work out for him. His numbers do yell all-star, and if he played more games, he'd be an all-star. LeBron James is actually having a really good season. He's having a great season.
And by the way, some of the high flying dunks are back too. Like I don't know what it's crazy.
No, listen, he is an anomaly, and obviously he's regarded as one of the GOATs. He's having a really good year. There's been conflict in terms of him being an all-star just due to the games he's missed, and their team is
they're 24-14,
pretty solid.
They've missed time from Austin Reaves, LeBron.
Yeah,
and
they've
Luka.
actually done well. JJ's done well. Their team's done well.
JJ looks like he's going through it, but even when they win or lose, it looks like he's
Yeah,
stressed
that's
out.
just part of the gig, man. Yeah, coaching is just. I've been close to it, but I haven't been in it. So being in that seat's just something different I can imagine. But he's done a great job, and their team is in a good spot despite all the injuries and all the hoopla that goes around their team. If he played more games, he'd be an all-star. But he still might get in. It's in LA, who knows? Yeah. But I would like his spot to go to someone like Denny or a first-time all-star Jamal.
I think he'll make it. Yeah, he's averaging crazy numbers.
Yeah, Jamal Murray.
Jamal Murray's making it. Yeah, absolutely.
Like some of these guys, these first-time all-stars who are having career years, I think could hopefully will get in the game.
Yeah, and it's interesting. Our producer just reminded us they're doing the USA versus the world. So I don't know how, depending on if they need more USA spots, because the world only has, I think it's like 8 per team. Maybe the world only gets 6. For example, they could add on an American. Maybe LeBron can make it that way. I'm interested to see how that works out.
That's
I
true.
gotta see that.
That's true.
But like Denny would make it. Jamal Murray. These guys would all be on the world team. Şengün if he makes it.
Yeah, that's a way to do it.
I wanted to ask you. Speaking of Denny, do you have a team that's not in the playoff hunt per se, but that you sneaky kind of like don't mind watching, or you're like, I'm gonna keep my eye on this team for the next few years? Like, I'll give you an example. For me, it's the Utah Jazz. I've been watching them lately. Bryce Sensabaugh, Orlando guy, Lake Highland Prep, had 40 last night and 30 minutes off the bench. Obviously, we like Keontae George. Lauri Markkanen has been good for a while. I'm like, okay, this is like my favorite of those kinds of teams. Do you have a team like that that's kind of out of the playoff picture that you're like, I don't mind watching them actually, like the Blazers or anyone like that?
Charlotte.
That is your team.
Because
like the LaMelo roller coaster with the Conconnipple, not a roller coaster.
No, I like I like their young core. I like LaMelo. Obviously, he's exciting to watch. Obviously, he needs to mature in some ways. I don't even mean as a person, just like his game overall. But he's very exciting. He's so talented. I like Conconnipple. I like Brandon Miller. I like their young core. I like their coach. Kind of like what they're building over there. That's probably the one team I see that's not like in the competing for a championship or playoff picture that I actually enjoy kind of watching. It's funny because I was the complete opposite. Like 3 years ago, I made fun of Charlotte.
Yeah.
But the rebuild and revamp, I see it. And everybody they brought into place, new ownership, new coaches, new front office, new players. I see it, and I can get jiggy with this new team. So
who gets the Rookie of the Year right now if it ended today? Conconnipple or Cooper Flag?
If it ended today, I go Knipple. Yeah, I go Knipple Rookie of the Year.
Yeah. But it's sliding, though, a certain way, too. The more Cooper plays and has more responsibility,
Yeah,
right?
I think Cooper has more on his plate. Cooper does more just in terms of his ability. He's 6'8", 6'9". He's long. He's athletic. He rebounds. He blocks shots. He alters shots. His defense. So there's things that he does more than Con. At the end of the year, I am positive, of certainty that Cooper Flag will win the Rookie of the Year, and he should. Right now, it's like right here. I'm talking about neck and neck. But if we're stopping right now, just due to the start Knipple had, the surprise at his height, at his size, with the lack of athletic ability he has, him doing what he's doing right now, I'd have to give him a Rookie of the Year. It's a close race, though. I mean, you got Knipple, Cooper, you got VJ, who's had a big year, Derek Queen, who's having a big year for New Orleans. There are some big-time, rookies right now hooping and playing.
Yeah.
But
the Pelicans would be one of those teams, too, even though they don't really win a lot of games.
No,
Queen and Jeremiah Fears.
Yeah, they're exciting.
I don't mind watching them.
Yeah,
Trey Murphy, who everyone wants. Every team wants, right, for the trade.
Yeah,
but like the Pelicans are like, he's young. Why don't we? It's the same thing we talked about with Shea on the Thunder back in the day. No one remembers it now. But when the Thunder were coming up and coming, people were saying, I don't know if Shea fits the timeline. We did this pod. I remember talking about it.
Yeah, people thought he was too
old. How silly
old.
is that now? They're like, well, they're in the middle of a dynasty.
It's ridiculous. If they would have removed him, they wouldn't have any rings. It's just unbelievable that was a thought process. But, yeah, sometimes teams get such in a rush about a rebuild, they don't realize the guy that is like 25, 26, he's 25, 26 guys. He'll be good in 2 years, 3 years. So if this team does work out and you guys are rebuilding and you guys do bring in talent, he's going to be in his prime still. Relax. Yeah. So, yeah, be careful. Like, Murphy's still young. Like, you don't have to just give him away. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's
Another reason I like that Utah team too is I feel like they're going to get a pick in the draft. Obviously, that's going to be high. It makes sense for AJ DeBansa because he went to Utah Prep in high school, right? He went to BYU. If Utah can get AJ DeBansa with Keontae George or some of these other guys,
that's really exciting.
That's a squad, right?
Yeah,
Everyone's going to get gifted something. This is like this. This is going to be like Thanksgiving and Christmas.
You get a rebuild. Yeah. You get a rebuild. You get a rebuild.
Austin's like, I kind of like the Hornets. I'm like, they're going to get another player, too, to add to that, too, which is crazy.
Hopefully a big. They got guards. You got the point guard. You got the shooting guard. You got the small forward. We got that locked up.
Caleb Wilson or Boozer.
You put there the 4 or 5. Now we got something cooking here. They're a year away. Yeah. They're a year away now. The dependent on them really getting there is LaMelo's growth in his game. He has all the skills. He has the talent. Just the consistency of like whether shot selection, knowing how to control the game a little bit better, just fine tuning. He just needs to continue to sharpen his tools. He has all the tools. I love LaMelo's talent. He's got to sharpen them a little bit. Less is more in some areas. He does that with the continued growth of Knipple and Brandon Miller, and then they get another guy. I mean, now it's like, what do we have? I mean, they now they got everything you need to like really be a restart to go compete in the playoffs right now. I've seen it with other teams. Other teams have made that jump quicker than what we thought. We were like, Spurs are going to be good in 3-4 years. No, Spurs are good right now. So, by the way, that win, we kind of got off that topic so quickly. It's a good lesson for the Spurs. Everybody was praising them, blowing smoke, and they got their number. They're the team that they can beat them. Spurs can win. They are very good, and I'm not saying they can't compete with them in the playoffs. They can. That game was a reminder of the difference between the two.
You don't want to go in 4-0 against the Thunder and then play them in the playoffs thinking and maybe have like the wrong mindset.
And again, even that doesn't mean anything. Again, the year that T-Mac and Vince got swept by the Knicks, they beat the Knicks every game that season. I only know this because they told me this the other day. Otherwise, that'd be a nutty stat to pull out.
I was about to say, what the hell have you been doing?
I was gonna.
The last time I saw you,
I was gonna pretend like I knew that, but I don't even want to. I can't. That's how real I am.
I was gonna say, listen, if you're pulling out, you're an NBA historian. You've been posting all these like '90s hip hop songs on your Instagram. I was like,
yeah, I've changed a little bit.
It's crazy. You're really tapping into the past.
I'm tapping into my age.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. I'm not going to clubs. I don't drink a lot. If I do, it's wine. I'm listening to like early '90s, mid '90s, early 2000s hip hop.
You're listening to the right hip hop. I'm just gonna be honest with you. It's the best.
Today's hip hop is garbage, and it is. It's garbage. It's like social media, TikTok rap, shit, things you could dance to. You know what I mean? I'll give you that. The music we make today can make you move more.
Different feeling though when you listen to like Reasonable Doubt, like you were listening to.
Yeah, that's more like.
And it's like you're tapping in, you're not dancing, but Jay-Z's talking to you, and you're listening.
No, I'm listening. So it's like I'm listening more to the music back then. My body is moving more now.
Yeah.
I put on Jay-Z or Nas or one of these guys, and like I'm just like listening to their words. I like lifting to that music. I like lifting to that stuff because they say stuff that's really motivational. So I run. Or if I'm about to lift after this, I'm going to be able to throw some weight to like some Nas and just getting it in.
Yeah.
If I'm going out or if I'm preparing for a night, to, hang out with the boys or with the lady and we're about to go to date night, like I'm putting something on that, I'm being in my bathroom just like, moving around.
Right.
So, that's more new age hip hop. I'm playing my Pluto, playing my Future. I love Future. That's probably my favorite. That's my favorite artist of all time is Future. He's very toxic though. He's a little demon. He's a demon, but I love his. I
don't like the stuff he's telling you. Actually,
stuff he says is awful, but I love his music though. I love his music.
Bad for relationships. Bad for relationship advice.
100%.
Not like Jay Shetty giving you relationship advice.
No, he says things. Sometimes I'm like,
that's what you want me to do.
Just say that, but no, I do love his music. There's something about him. Yeah.
Right.
But that's I'm tapping in right now.
You're also hanging, like you said, you're hanging out with Vince, you're hanging out with T-Mac. You're gonna be listening to some other stuff.
Hanging out with the old heads and now I'm becoming one. That's what happens. You are who you hang with.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
Yeah, right. When Vince was popping, it was like probably going to like parties with like Nelly.
Bro, they were telling me all type of stories.
Yeah.
The stories they were telling me, I'm just like, I forget who these guys were. And then like even yesterday, I land from New York and I'm driving and I'm listening to Nas or I'm listening to Jay-Z, and he says a T-Mac bar, and I'm just like, bro, I forget like how big these guys were.
Yeah.
Like T-Mac, Vince.
Well, I wanted to ask you about the All NBA. This is a complete sidebar. But
should it just be the best 5 players? Or
they've been doing that, right? Best 5 players.
I like
now.
that. I don't think it should be a position.
I just don't want to weed out.
It's like
the big man,
because then it's like if Joel Embiid. Remember the year Joel Embiid and Nikola were both great. Like, they both should be first team that year.
Yeah.
Instead of, like, Joel Embiid being second
And that's
team.
probably why that's around the time when they made the
They're
move.
like, yo, if these guys are, the best 5 should be the best 5.
Why do I always look at it, though, as like I want it to be a team that goes against another team?
I don't know why you do that.
I want it to be like the All-NBA first team in 1996 versus the All-NBA first team now. And I can't have, like, Luka and shit. I can't have all guards out there. They won't pass each other the ball. Like, I don't know, man. I like it as a team, but I understand what your point is, too. If there's not a good big man, and a lot of guys in that third team, some centers got in on that third team.
Yes.
Yeah. Some guards got snubbed. For sure, I get it.
That's why I'm just like, just put the best 5. Put the best 5 out there. But yeah, as far as MPJ goes in the East, he has a real shot, and I hope he does get in because he's had a career year and he's proved a lot of people wrong.
Before that.
Yeah, I mean,
hopefully he does.
There's a lot of ways they could go about it. Brooklyn's got to decide which direction they're going. Do we trade him now and try to get something for him while his value's high, or do we shut him down the rest of the year, get this bad pick, or maybe get a good pick with our season? And then now we got a top pick coming in. We do have Michael. Maybe we move some of these other guys. We have Claxton. We can maybe move or whatever. Because Michael's still relatively young. Like I don't know. There's different directions.
I don't know who said it online. Him for Darius Garland was interesting. Because if you're the Nets, you get your lead guard that runs the team. We saw Darius Garland do it with the Cavs before Donovan Mitchell got there. And MPJ compliments, I guess, Donovan Mitchell and Evan Mobley.
Yeah, and then you move Hunter to the bench, DeAndre Hunter.
It's just tough, though. I mean, people act like you could just trade Darius Garland. Him and Donovan Mitchell haven't won together. It's just people don't realize how hard it is to make that move.
Yeah, it's hard to get off Darius because for one,
he's just so talented.
He's talented as hell. He's a really nice guy. And
you never want to trade a guy that you know is going to go somewhere else and flourish too. It's always a weird thing.
Well, yeah, we're seeing it with Kuminga.
Yeah.
That's why he's not being traded.
And that's another thing, too, we got to talk about because while we've been recording, it just came out that Kuminga is actually officially requesting a trade.
It's about damn time.
Yeah.
This situation is bullshit. I don't like it. I don't have anything against Steve Kerr. He's never done anything wrong to me, my family. I think he's a great coach, obviously. He's an NBA champion.
He's won as a player and a coach just like more than anything.
Again, there's no coincidence, all right? People are like, oh, he's a victim of circuit. No, you can't be that lucky, okay? Right. There's clearly a recipe within Steve Kerr that translates to winning. He's a legendary coach, and he's a legendary fixture in the game of basketball. That's, again, undeniable. So, respect to Steve Kerr. With that being said, this situation is complete bullshit. All right? The way they have treated Kuminga is something that I haven't seen in quite a while. All right? This is a 20-point-per-game caliber player. I know this because he's done it. When guys were hurt, he literally averaged 20-plus for a month and some change. I'm not making this up. This happened. All right, last year he was in and out of the lineup, didn't even play in the playoffs. Then they bring him in one game off the bench. He scores 30. All right, in a playoff game. Kuminga is a freak talent, an athlete. I'm talking about he does things on the court jumping-wise and explosion-wise that people are like, whoa. All right, how the hell can this guy not get a minute on a sorry-ass Warriors team? It drives me crazy. I watch the Warriors all the time. I watch more basketball now in my life than I ever have due to my new job at NBC. And I watch this piss-poor-ass Warriors team play, and I'm like, how the does this guy not get off the bench? I'm watching Podziemski, Moody, a bunch of other random-ass players, and those guys are good. Moody's solid. Podziemski's solid. They got other players I never heard of. Pat Spencer plays before Kuminga. He hasn't played in 14 games. He's 6'8", and is a scorer. The Warriors, half the time, struggle scoring. And they have a 20-point-per-game player who sits at the end of the bench because the coach don't like him. It's personal. And I know this because I'm close to Kuminga's camp. I know about things that I can't say on air.
But how do you play Kuminga, Jimmy Butler, and Draymond Green, all non-shooters at the same time? That's the issue, right?
And that's, okay, so it brings me to my point. Who else on the team is a knockdown shooter, like knockdown, other than Steph?
Moody.
Okay. So that's okay. So then that's the point. So why does Kuminga be the guy? Oh, Kuminga doesn't fit. He's a non-shooter. Man, the whole team's a non-shooter. No one shoots. But Steph, no one is a knockdown other than Steph. So off with the Kuminga doesn't fit their playing style. Either it is Jimmy and y'all brought him in. It makes zero sense. Bro, them bringing in Jimmy, who's a replica of what Kuminga does in some ways, and saying, oh, well, is the biggest contradiction to Kuminga's whole. Kuminga probably saw that and was like, wait, then why didn't y'all never play? Why are y'all bringing him in and never played me? He can't shoot. Draymond can't shoot. Gary Payton can't shoot. All these dudes can't shoot. But Kuminga can't play now. People would say, well, Gary Payton knows his role. He knows how to screen in. He's always moving out the ball.
He plays well with Steph, yeah.
He knows how to play well with Steph. Okay, fair. So I'll give him and Draymond the pass. Draymond's obviously Draymond Green. Give those two a pass. Dog. The rest of the roster is still what?
Should Kuminga be watching like Andre Iguodala tape on how he played with Steph and how he was able to move?
Kuminga should be watching tape of Jerry Maguire and hiring an agent who's going to call some people and get him the fuck out of there. He needs to get out. You don't need to change nothing, Kuminga. You don't need to change nothing. Also, I know about things that have been said. There's personal feelings involved in this. It's not a mistake. I got it. I know this. I'm inside. And I love Kerr. He's a legend, but this situation has been f***ed up. And I'm going to tell you why it's mostly f***ed up and why I feel for Kuminga. He is not in year 1 or year 2 or year 3 or year 4. He is in year 5. The first quarter of this man's career, of his life, he has worked all his life to get to the NBA. He is responsible for taking over 15, 16 people from Africa. This is who he takes care of, dog. This dude got a whole village in San Francisco, bro. And back home. He's got a lot in his plate. He's not your typical NBA player. This is a guy from Africa. He's got a lot in his plate. He got a lot of responsibility. You have taken this young man who's worked his ass off to get to the NBA. You have taken 5 years from his career. Not 1, not 2. It'd be one thing if he didn't play his first year, then the second year, then his third year, like, yo, I haven't played yet, you get out of it. That happened to me. I got drafted to the worst situation I could have got drafted to. Monty Williams was destructive for my NBA career. It's a fact. We're not cutting this either. It happened. It's reality. By year 3, I had to get out of there. Thank God I was able to get to the Clippers. Kuminga don't have his dad coaching another NBA team that knows his talent that could bring the most out of him. He don't have that, all right? But even most players still find a way to get out year 2, year 3. If it's not amicable, if it's not working in the situation, you get out. Even if it's a top pick, Cam Reddish, you name it, whoever. Guys who have this talent that aren't working out, they get a second chance or a third chance somewhere. We're in year 5, dog. This man had been in the NBA for 5 years and has nothing to show for it.
What's the average NBA career? 3 or 4?
3 or 4?
Yeah.
So the first quarter of this man's career has been pissed away. And we're not talking about some regular player. Kuminga goes to any team, he averages 20 plus, which is why they've held on to him. Period. You said it, and that's what brought it up. They don't like to see someone else go somewhere. They don't like to see him go somewhere else and flourish.
Because it makes that front office look
bad. It
bad.
makes it look bad, and that's exactly what would happen if Kuminga did it. And you got to call out Steve Kerr, and you got to, most importantly, call out Dunleavy. Period. I'm sorry, but it's the truth. Dunleavy's just as guilty. He's the one running the show, or so they say. They have over this young man. It's not right. It's not right, guys. It's not right. He has asked to be out of there for years now. He has not fit the Warriors, right? That's what they say. And then Steve Kerr's making jokes about it. And I'm glad my mom doesn't have to call me anymore and ask about my Kuminga rotations. It's not funny, bro. Not to him. I'm talking to his people, bro. So I'm talking to Kuminga. Not face to face, but I'm talking. It ain't funny to him. I want to punch him in the face. Steve Kerr's playing with his livelihood. That's what Kuminga's like, dog, do you understand? I don't know anybody this guy makes $25 million a year and is sitting on the bed. It doesn't happen. Bro, we've been brushing over this thing because people are like, the Warriors are the Warriors, all right? And it's just, it's the Warriors. And brother, that Warriors ain't even around. Bob Myers works for the goddamn DC. I don't know what the hell he's doing. He runs
Commanders,
and he runs the whole. I think he runs all of it. He runs the Wizards and everything. He runs the whole show. The guy who owns the Commanders, whatever else he owns, he's involved with. Not the Wizards, but whatever else he's involved with, Wizards, he runs his whole thing. Whatever. It's not the Warriors anymore. Okay. They traded. This thing has been mismanaged.
It's so to sum it up in a quick way, they drafted a guy with the 7th pick. Never played him. And then when it was time for him to get a contract, they paid him and then still don't play him. And
they only paid him still a fraction of what his value. Bro, if Kuminga,
it was an interesting deal. It's kind of like what Jalen Green, how they got that deal where we're going to pay you, but it wasn't like the big deal, right?
If Kuminga played on any other team in the league, he would have signed a max extension. That's the type of talent he is, period. And anybody who's played in the NBA knows it. Isaiah Thomas came out the other day and said, if I was Kuminga, I would have choked him. If I was Kuminga, I would have choked. I'm talking about OG Isaiah Thomas. Hall of Famer, said if I was Kuminga, this is coming from Isaiah Thomas, Said if I was Kuminga, I would have walked in the locker room and choked out Steve Kerr. Stop playing with me. Stop playing with me. You guys are playing guys ahead of me who are 1/10 my talent and as good as me. Cut it out and don't say, "Oh, I don't fit in the rim." Half these dudes don't fit.
Well, also, if you would have just played him and developed him, he probably would become the player that could fit into that.
Do you know
team.
how many times I've watched Podziemski look off Steph and shoot a shot? They all do it. Give me a break with this Kuminga shit. And that's no knock at Podziemski. I like Podziemski. He's a good player.
Right.
So are these other guys. Moody's good too. They're not Kuminga, and they're nowhere near his talent or ceiling. How this guy hasn't played, and you guys are just like holding him for what? It's at the cost of this guy's livelihood. But we're in year 5, fam. Get him out of there. Enough. This shit is getting old, dog. I'm serious. I'm hot about it.
I'm gonna say before we wrap this. That's the loudest I ever think you got on the pod.
Bro, I don't.
That is the loudest. That's why I was laughing. That's the loudest you've ever been on this pod
and
in 3 years.
I see it. I relate to it.
Yeah.
I relate to it, bro. I was in New Orleans, like just wasting away.
Yeah, and you know you don't get those years back.
They're gone.
Yeah.
And I was in year 3, and I got out of there.
Yeah.
He's in year 5, and he's just sitting there. And their team's not good. And then they beat the Portland Trailblazers. Oh, shit. They've lost their coach. Denny wasn't playing. Dame hasn't even heard. Jeremy Grant's not playing. They went by 30, and they're like, they got the audacity to get on the podium after the game. Oh, I think we're turning the corner. You're not turning any corners. You're not competing with anybody at the top. I'm sorry. It's not happening. I got none respect for Dre and Steph. It ain't happening. And their first ballot, Steph's obviously a Rushmore guy. I have Steph as like my top 5 all time. That's how good Steph's up there. I mean, he's goated. All right,
starting the All-Star game.
Yeah, he's a goat.
Yeah.
He's a goat. Draymond's been great for his role. He's one of the greatest role players to ever play in the NBA. So much so he's going to be a Hall of Fame role player. It's unbelievable. Got no respect for those guys. You ain't the old Warriors. It's not happening. I watch your shit all the time. It ain't pretty to watch. You guys can't compete with any of the top guys in the West. It's not happening. It's not happening. So what the f*** are we doing here with this Kuminga guy? Get him out of there. He got to go. He got to go, bro. Now, a part of me likes watching this. Not Kuminga, the Warriors. I lost to you guys so much as a player. I lost to the Warriors so much, man. I get so much enjoyment from watching you guys fail. As a team, you guys stink and I enjoy it. I like watching it because of all the hardships you guys put me through as a player. I'm just kidding. No. It's time though.
Kuminga package for like Michael Porter Jr. makes sense for both teams. If you want to wrap it all up.
Kuminga would be great in Brooklyn. Let him go.
Hey, MPJ, you said the Warriors don't have shooting. MPJ, one of the best shooters you've ever seen in your life.
It's the easiest trade scenario you can make.
We'll throw that in right before we wrap. I think maybe it happens before it's published.
Let's get that going.
Yeah.
Do I think MPJ is thrilled to go play over there? I don't think so. I really don't.
I think he likes probably.
But you're not going to win in Golden State anyway. Okay, so even if it goes there, they'll be better. They're not going to win.
But
he has to play with guys like Dre and Jimmy who are going to be yelling at. He doesn't want it. I know. He doesn't want to be the 4th option like in Denver, and he doesn't want to be maybe like this much of the main guy on a bad team. Bro,
there's a middle ground for him.
He was the 3rd, 4th option in Denver, but they were winning championships.
There's a middle ground for him.
He don't want to go be the 3rd and 4th option in Golden State, and they're not winning shit. He's like, what? Taxed higher? I'm in here.
Well, I think he's proven this year he's too good to be a 3rd option anywhere. Anyways.
Well, yeah, he would. He'd be the 2nd option in Golden State.
No, anywhere. I think he is the 2nd option anywhere. Yeah,
and in some cases first.
This year he's been amazing. We can wrap there.
But anyways, yeah, that Kuminga stuff's got to dissolve. It gets me. It does get me angry. Hopefully that situation works itself out. It's frustrating to watch. With that being said, we'll be here to cover it. I'm sure these things these dominoes will start falling here in the next. When's the deadline?
The deadline's in February, but more players are eligible to get traded here soon, right?
Now,
yeah. The deadline's February 5th, so it's all.
So within the few, 2-3 weeks here, we should see some of these dominoes fall. Ja Morant's got to get out of there. It's reached to the point of where the toxic environment, it's not even worth it. We got to get him out of here. The kid's got to go. And for his own sake, he's got to go and the fact that he wants to go to Miami tells me he wants a fresh start. They're saying reports.
Well, because he bought a house there, but people buy houses in Miami a lot.
But you want to live there. I don't buy a house at a place I don't want to be at. You know what I mean? I might buy like a nice, loft.
Bro, I'm saying like maybe it's his off-season house. I just want to jump to conclusions.
Yeah, all right. He wants to be a Miami man. All right. And the fact that he
get in line.
Yeah, get in line. Yeah. I want to be there too. Yeah, the fact that he knows what comes with playing for the Heat.
Yeah.
him and his ways in Miami, you might get the best version of Ja we've ever seen. That's the thing. With the way he's acting, this whole situation, his past, people are clouded and not seeing like, bro, Ja's actually, he's not a bad guy, man. Like, Ja's actually a good young man. He's a good guy. Doesn't mean he hasn't made mistakes. And it doesn't mean right now the situation that's going on is good and that he's handling it the right way. But there's a lot of emotion involved, and he's frustrated. You could see it. And it's not fun when you know a team wants to get off you. You feel betrayed. You feel like, how dare they? For everything I've done for Memphis, I get it. I see it. I know as a player, I understand it. So we got to get outside of the cloud and understand Ja's perspective. I'm not just saying his actions are right. I'm not letting him off the hook. But there are two sides to things, guys, okay? Don't get away from the player. Understand he has his own point of view. Understand that at one point we all loved Ja because that's who he is. He's an exciting box office player. And I understand his value is not high right now. And I understand there's a lot of toxicity next to his name. But don't be clouded by that because you same fans stay on that side. I said this about the Paolo thing the other day, and people are gravitating towards that and understand what I'm saying. Because Ja's going to go somewhere else. He is. Whether it's Miami or wherever the and you're going to start to see a fresh new start. He's going to be excited. He's going to be rejuvenated, especially if somewhere like Miami. And you're going to start to see the best version of him. And then people are going to be like, Ja's back. He's always been there, man. It's just his spirit's in a better place now. It's hard to play and compete when your spirit's up. He's confused. He's angry. He's young. God damn. This guy's got a magnifying glass. We're watching his conversation in a damn shoot-around now. Can't even argue in peace. Jordan used to sock out his teammates, and then we had to wait 30 years to hear about it in a documentary.
Yeah.
Now it's like, up. He's arguing.
Yeah.
Like, easy, man. This is a young man right now going through a lot. And I'm not condoning his behaviors and all different actions, but like, shit. His spirit's up. Wait till he gets somewhere right and see how it works. With that being said, make sure you guys like and subscribe. Follow us on Instagram and TikTok, the Off Guard Podcast. You could find us there. We'll be back next week. It's been a hell of an episode. I need to calm down and go woosah.
Yeah, I know you're about to go lift. That was good.
My nose forgot it was running.
It was a pre-workout.
I started yelling, and my nose was like, whoa.
Evaporated.
Whoa. This guy's angry. Yeah. We pissed him off. Let's stay in here. All right, y'all. We'll be back next week. Me and Pausha are out. Anything else, Pausha?
No, that's perfect.
All right, y'all have a good weekend. Stay safe.
Hit subscribe for more news, highlights, and analysis from the NBA on NBC.